in New York to take on the Nets in Brooklyn. Jay Will and Tim Legler are here, and it was a LeBron show from the very beginning.
Yeah, he comes out some nights and he just has such an aggressive mindset. When he scores early in the game, you feel like you know you're going to get a steady dose of it the entire night.
Yeah, you see the bucket, then the pass. The Lakers started out on a 17-0 run. It was 17-0 Lakers, and then Jay Will, it would continue. LeBron, 9 threes in this game, a career high.
I mean, there's only two players in Lakers history who have shot 90% from the three-point line, 9 of 10, him and Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, spectacular. The Lakers continuing to lead pretty much the entire night. LeBron, again, just feeling it. When he's knocking down shots like these legs, even at his age, he's unstoppable.
And this is the highest shooting year of his career from the three-point line, and he feels more comfortable getting into these shots off the dribble than he has at any point in his career, which is pretty amazing.
And Greeny, watch every highlight. He looks. LeBron tells when he's going to shoot a three.
Yeah.
He looks down at the ground. It's his two-tailed thing when he shoots.
Well, he scored 40 points last night on the 9 threes. His second 40-point game since turning 39 years old. He joins Michael Jordan as the only players in history with multiple 40-point games at age 39 or older. And then afterwards, he was asked how much longer he sees himself going.
Not very long. Not very long. I'm on the other side, obviously, of the hill, so I'm not going to play another 21 years, that's for damn sure, but not very long. I don't know when that door was closed as far as when I retire, but I don't have much time left.
I don't know that I understand the context of the question. Again, I wasn't in the room.
Yeah.
I mean, LeBron, you're 39. Your team is sort of making a playoff run here. You're looking pretty good. You just scored 40 points. How soon are you retiring?
Yeah,
there has to have
agree.
been a reason why the question was asked.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're not making a big deal of the fact that he said that last night.
No, of course
right?
not. He actually, you could tell he was irritated by getting asked that in that moment.
Right.
I'm trying to get this team ready for some sort of a playoff run. You know, if we can survive the play-in and get on to a series, that's where I'm at. And I just had a great game. Why are you asking me about that? So, no, I agree. He was irritated.
Yeah. So let's put that one aside for a moment and just talk about LeBron James at 39, continuing to do things that no one his age has ever done. And one of those could be leading this team that's starting to look. I know that we try and make a big deal out of every win and every little moment, but as we go into this month where the playoffs will begin, the Lakers do look like a team that if everything went their way could catch a little fire.
I mean, when it got to the Western Conference Finals last year. I mean, look, here's the thing. If you have LeBron James playing at a high level, you have Anthony Davis, who is facing anybody other than the Joker, frankly, in my opinion. I think that's a really good combination with their size, their frame, their way to defend. Now, they don't put themselves in the best polling position, legs here, obviously, because of how they not having somebody to carry the load throughout the regular season. But they could cause trouble in the playoffs because they have the size, and they have the talent, and they have the physicality.
Look, I said, I don't know how long ago it was, the Lakers weren't going to do something like they did last year. They couldn't replicate that run because of the landmines that are in the Western Conference. It's just different. But at the time I said that, Phoenix didn't look like this. The Clippers didn't look like this, 500 for a 6-week stretch. Karl Anthony Towns wasn't hurt. Like, there's a lot of things that have happened in the meantime that now you look at the Lakers and say, if they get a particular matchup in the first round, and by that I mean really avoid Denver. That's really what it comes to. If you can avoid Denver in a 7-game series to start off, assuming they escape the play-in, I think a lot of people would pick the Lakers to beat either Oklahoma City or Minnesota if they get one of those two teams in a 7-game series.
And so it may become a very interesting little run here for LeBron and company. They had a good one last night in Brooklyn. Let me run the floor through some of the other better moments from the NBA yesterday, because there's a bunch of them out there. Legs, let's start with your guy and your team, the Nuggets and the Joker. He had 26 points, 18 rebounds, 16 assists. Just let that sink in a moment. Man. They blow out the Cavs. Who's the biggest threat to them in the West?
I think it's the Dallas Mavericks. And you know, I've been on this pretty hard since the trading deadline, and they're doing nothing to make me think otherwise. Particularly when you look at the one thing Dallas was not doing consistently was defending. Well, look at what they have done defensively during this stretch. They've won 11 out of 12 games, and they faced a team last night that had won 11 straight in their building. And Luka Doncic came out with such a dialed-in focus at the start of this game. He completely took the game over in the first quarter, and it stayed that way the rest of the night. So the combination of the greatness of Luka with Kyrie as a supplemental scoring star, the athletes that they have now, and then now they're actually defending at that level on a given night, I think Dallas is the biggest threat. Again, Avoid the Nuggets at all costs early if you can.
Agreed.
Right.
But I think, why wouldn't you think Dallas is poised to be that team that could be the last one standing against the Nuggets?
I would actually say, first off, Nikola Jokic is my MVP.
Right.
I know SGA, other players are in that category, but he is the bona fide MVP in my opinion. And I would agree with you, Legs, on the Mavericks. It feels like Luka and Kyrie are having fun when they play together. It's not, oh, Legs, you go. Now it's my turn to go. Now you go. It feels like there's fluidity and continuity in how they're playing offensively. It's a very dynamic backcourt.
Yeah, you said that you think this is the best team that Luka has had since he's been in Dallas, and that includes the team that made the conference final.
No question about it. And that team had Jalen Brunson. I get it. They had Spencer Dinwiddie. Those two guys were huge for them. This is the best team because he's got Kyrie, a bona fide superstar scorer next to him. It's the supplemental pieces and the way that they fit together. By the way, we just watched that highlight about 5 times while we were talking. Can we please show that shot one more time? That's the most absurd shot I have seen, certainly this year. One of the most absurd shots in my career.
Here it comes.
Step through, scoop shot from 22 feet, and then just this reaction, man. What are you going to do? You know how irritating that is to your opponent when not only you do this, and then you just laugh all the way down the court like, oh, this is so fun out here, isn't it, guys? Maybe not for Jabari Smith.
It's just different. I said it before. I think we're finally seeing everybody wanted results in year one, and it takes a while to learn how to play with two guys who are primary ball handlers. And now I think with the continuity and the pieces, like Leg said, this team is one of the most dangerous teams there is in the Western Conference. I'm also not going to just overlook Minnesota as well.
Right.
I know not having Karl-Anthony Towns, but defensively, the way they are built, there's some dogs too now.
I'm just thinking about the trade deadline last year. Kyrie goes out to play with Luka, and we all thought, oh, what a disaster. They didn't even want to make the playoffs. Durant goes to play with Devin Booker, and we're thinking, oh, they're a year away from being a championship contender. And boy, how quickly that feels like it has switched. Let's stay here in New York, Jay. The Knicks and the Thunder play an unbelievable game last night. Thunder wind up winning late, SGA with a big shot. Knicks lose another heartbreaker and nail-biter. And then there's that bad mojo, or not mojo, but just sort of bad comments about the possibility of getting back some of their injured stars. How concerned, if you're a fan of the Knicks, who have had such a good season, how concerned should you be?
I am concerned for the Knicks. First off, I think other bona fide superstars in the league get that call that Jalen Brunson didn't get the hip check call on Luke Dort. I think he should have gotten that call. I also think that down the stretch, not having Mitchell Robinson, not having Julius Randle, not having some of their front court players is a major. OG Anunoby, like last night, that would have been the matchup for Shai Gilgeous, right? Having OG on that floor would have made a world of a difference. The fact when I hear Thibodeau talk that of uncertainty and not knowing when those guys are coming back, considering the way their last 9 games are against playing caliber teams, I am concerned for them down the stretch.
I'm very concerned about where else is it going to come from besides Brunson in a big spot. And this is where Julius Randle comes into it, because you look at the rest of their pieces, and I loved all the guys they added, but it's built around the 2 stars, and they only have one right now. Brunson's sensational, and look, there's going to be nights he will be able to carry you all the way through in the fourth quarter, but that's asking an awful lot for one guy that's a smaller guard playing that lead position to do that night in and night out without the secondary star next to you. They've got some streaky offensive players that on a given night can do it, but not being at full strength, you can't look at them as the same threat that they were. And even last night, Thibodeau had to go to 4 guards and Precious Achiuwa for a stretch of that game because you don't have Mitchell Robinson, don't have Julius Randle, you have no size available besides Hartenstein.
Yeah, the other night, Brunson had 61 points and they lost a game. So I mean, it's a lot on his shoulders. We'll see what they can do. And then one more from last night, Legs. Draymond Green, we spent all last week talking about him. He had 21 points, 11 assists, 6 rebounds as the Warriors beat the Spurs. So what do we say about that?
What was the score, Greeny? You know what the score was?
I mean, you tell me. What do you mean what the score was? Sure. Yeah, I mean, they were up. What's the point that you're making with that?
I just want to make sure that with all due respect to the Spurs, it's a good number. Like, I want to see that consistently.
Okay, fair enough.
You need to see those point spreads consistently against a team that's not at the bottom tier of the Western Conference.
So I mean, okay, I'm trying to figure out the point that you're making for me. You're just sort of dismissing that, like. We spent all last week saying, oh, my God, they're done. He's dead. They should get rid of him, nothing else. Boom, he comes back. He plays a really good game. Like, what do we say about Draymond Green this morning?
I'm saying it's against the Spurs.
Okay.
Like I'm saying, look, those are numbers that you should be doing against the Spurs. I'm telling you my raw opinion on it. Legs, I don't know how you feel about it. I know Steph had a really big game. They beat the Spurs barely. It's the Spurs.
Listen, Draymond Green, no one is saying that Draymond Green is not capable of having games like this.
Right.
The reason that, we went in on him as hard as we did last week was because they need him on the floor to be that. And he basically left the game after 4 minutes and left Steph Curry out there to dry in a game that they had to win. This was a huge night last night. Okay, not only do they get this win, Houston loses. That losing streak is snapped. You get a little bit more comfort zone there. So now it looks most likely that Golden State will survive that run by Houston, and they're going to get into this play-in. Look, in a one-night situation with Steph Curry, and certainly Draymond Green's going to play a big part in that, Golden State Warriors are dangerous in a one-night situation. But if they have to win 2 games to get out of the play-in against those other 2 teams, who that looks like that's going to be, I still think it's very unlikely. So it's great that Draymond atoned. Okay, he played well and he atoned for that. Ultimately, is this going to be a needle mover for the Warriors? What happened last night in terms of a postseason run? I don't think so.
I guess my bigger point, Greeny, was I don't walk away from last night saying, okay, all the Warriors' issues are fixed.
No.
Right.
By the way, and that's the way that came across. It's like, well, he had this great game. Okay, everything's fine. Everything doesn't still feel fine to me. Like Blake said, obviously it puts you in polling position, but still I think it's a major uphill battle for this team.
So I mean, as we felt a year ago, the Lakers have a much better shot. If we're just looking at the 2 transcendent stars, the Lakers feel like they have a much better shot to keep this thing going into May than the Warriors do at this point. Meanwhile, the best...
Chào mừng đến với Bình Nguyên Vô Tận. Cả đội xông lên.
Các chiến thần của tháp Quang Minh không chỉ có vài người thôi đâu.
An enemy has been defeated.
Có kẻ cười nhạo ta, có kẻ thương hại ta, nhưng chỉ có ta mới là người nhìn nhận.
You have defeated an enemy. An ally has been defeated. You have defeated an enemy. Double kill. An ally has been defeated. Don't go away.
Lên nổ. Ta là
Onslaught.
người thần tộc, ta tôn sùng Quang Minh.
An ally has been defeated. Your tower has been destroyed.
Quang minh mang đến cho ta sức mạnh, những trái tim nhiệt huyết sẽ đem lại
An ally has been defeated. Bloodbath!
bách phát bách trúng.
An ally has been defeated. Double kill! Victory!
Chào mừng đến với Bình Nguyên Vô Tận. Cả đội xông lên.
feel all the stories hidden